Now.
Hey, yo. Welcome to the wonderful world of Hungry Heath. I'm not a classically trained chef. What I am is a self-taught home cook. I have studied under several television chefs. I have a PhD from YouTube University and a black belt in Google Food. I love to cook. One thing I love more than cooking is my wife, the warden. Together we also like to call the Friday Night Feast. Another time it's every Friday night, 6:30 Central. We'll cook up an entree, maybe a couple of snacks. We'll show you how we do it. Then we spend our evening just chewing the fat with all of our friends in the Hungry Horde. Hope you can tune sometime. We'd love to have you over for dinner. Today's live stream is my MS Journey update for week, what did I say, 201 or 202?
202.
Obviously, I have trouble counting. Things are kind of weird right now, and I misplaced it.
What?
My cane, I thought I had it right here. That's part of my problem. I've been having issues with my left leg. I'll just be walking, feeling fine, and all of a sudden my knee will buckle on me and just goes out. So I've started using my cane again just to help steady myself. And then our resident therapist recommended that I get a hurricane or hurricane.
Yeah. Where is it?
That's what I'm saying. I think I have it. I just was sorting the laundry, started another load, and I think it's sitting there right between the washer and dryer. Because this one, the feet on it, or the foot, it's kind of weird. The other one I had 4 feet on it, 4 feet, and it's balanced all the time. This one here, the handle kind of throws it off a little bit, and it falls.
Do you want to show them?
Yeah. I drop it a lot more, it seems like. But it is lighter, and I'm quicker with it. And obviously, I drop it quicker.
Yeah. And I was going to give a few more minutes for everybody to get in, and then we get into it. Because for some reason...
That's the foot on this one.
Okay. We'll go ahead then.
All right, well, never mind.
No, go ahead. Show.
But it's kind of cool because it comes apart and it's all strung together by a string, obviously. So it collapses. If I can get it back together, learn to be smarter, dude. And there's a little tie off on it too when it does collapse, so I can travel with it a little easier. I don't enjoy using it, and because of its being a travel one, the handle on it's a little smaller too. So I have to grip it a little different. So it's just a little bit of a learning curve. I know It's basically just first world problems.
No, that's good.
And then sitting here, I have a constant throbbing. It's not hurt. It doesn't really hurt, but it's a dull pain, a dull sensation in my left thigh and my shin. And it never goes away. He's been doing that for about a week now. And for whatever reason, it's even more present today. I don't know why, if I've just been more active, because I got up my normal time, did my chores, and then I had to run a couple of errands, drove out to the woodlands and stuff. I don't know if that's what did it, because I was sitting down in the truck, so I wasn't up and about. I mean, the only downside was a couple of weeks ago, I did order a new phone case, and it already broke. Luckily, I did it through Amazon Prime, and I make sure whenever I order from them that I select the stuff that I can return. So one of the areas that I can return it to, one of their drop-off points or whatever, was at Kohl's, which is weird too, though, because I've never been to Kohl's. But so I had to get directions to get over there, use my GPS, whatever, to get over there. When I pull up, walk right into the Kohl's. But I didn't realize they shared a building with Sephora. And when I asked them at the front where the Amazon mail-off thing was, they said, it's in the very back corner of the building. So I parked at the opposite end of the building because the exit and everything I went out of was in Sephora at the opposite end. Then I had to walk back over to the end of the parking lot to get to my truck. So that was fun. So maybe that's why it's throbbing. I don't know. I did a little more work on it today, walking, than I normally do.
Yeah,
so maybe that's what it is. And then I had to go to Sam's to do a pickup, but that was easy. I just pull in, give them my code, and they hand it to me. I don't even have to go inside for that.
Right.
So I don't know if that was what it is, but I don't know. I'm perplexed, aggravated. Kind of got me in the mood. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. No, it's share. I see some really good questions. It didn't pop up on Restream, but I do see that 22Q Cat was first. It said, "Hey, Shelly, Heath, and all. Hey, y'all. Hey, 22Q Cat." And then Barely Begun said, "Morning, y'all.
Howdy,
good
howdy,
morning,
howdy.
Coda." And Sharon is here. She said,
Hi.
"Good morning." And Brenda F is here and said,
Howdy.
"Hey." And then she said, "Nice about your cane."
Yeah.
And then Caden's here. Hey, Caden said, "Hi, Shelly. Hi, Heath. How are you?" She said, "Oh, sorry, you're not feeling well."
And what's really crazy too, the other cane I used to use or was using or whatever, it has 4 feet on it, but somehow I lost one of the feet. It has 4 legs, I guess technically,
Yeah.
and each of them have a little rubber stopper on them. Well, one of the 4 rubber stoppers fell off, and I don't know where. I'm hoping it's possibly in the back corner of our closet, and I just need to dig it out.
Yeah.
And I was gonna order a replacement set for like less than $6, but somebody recommended this cane, said it would be better for me. It's actually more it'll be more functional for me, because actually on this foot, it actually when you push down on the floor, it actually swivels on the foot.
Put it here.
No, because it's all dirty. I don't want to put it on this one where we put food and stuff. But I know what you're saying. But yeah, but so it actually swivels on the foot. So she said that would be safer for me. It just I have to learn to use it. I'm just crying over first world problems.
Well, I think that's a very good thing, because if you're used to being mobile and suddenly you need a cane, people don't realize the learning curve with canes. And I think too, I think part of the reason, and I know she's not in here yet, but I think part of the reason is because when she would watch you use your other cane, I don't think you were using it the way a cane's supposed to be used, because you would just kind of fling it around.
Right. I wouldn't use it until I needed it.
Right, but then you'd just be kind of carrying it with you. And I think she was saying, the way you were doing that one, that was kind of making you more unstable, because you just kind of move it, and then because it's supposed to be like fixed and you're moving around, that it's not moving, so therefore it's like toppling.
Oh, okay.
And I think with this, the way you're using it, I'm guessing
like a lot of times, like when I was like, walk around and go do something here in the kitchen or whatever, I'm going to set this down, and all of a sudden it falls over because it's not balanced. I have to, because the foot swivels, the whole thing, I can turn it. Sometimes I have to turn it to where it counterbalances the way the handle sticks out.
Oh.
Well, the other one was all 4 feet, which they would always stand up no matter.
Yeah.
So I got to learn to use the thing correctly. It's just, like I said. Oh, my thing is, I guess I don't want to come on here and just cry on everybody.
No, you're not just crying. And like Barely Begun said, Heath, I'm glad you're using the tools you have available to make your day better. No shame in that.
Right. Thank you. Because then I was showing you that video earlier the other day, remember? Because I was trying to find easy and quick ways to, or not easy and quick, but anyways, ways I can help my leg strengthen it to where I don't get all used. And a lady in the video was using a walker like I used to use before I was using the cane. So I was thinking, well, I could do that. And she's like, Shelly's like, yeah, but you're already doing all those with your DDPY.
Yeah, because he kept showing the different exercises. Because there's one, and I've told him this since the beginning, y'all, where on DDPY, let me show it like this. Mm-hmm. No. So, like you're standing side by side, your legs are side by side, and you have a chair to either side of you, whichever one you're working, to help stabilize you. And you're supposed to put one leg back and kind of bend the first leg, right? And you have one leg back, and you're supposed to stretch it as far as you can. And then that builds the muscles back here. But Heath, I'm going to tell on you, this is how he would do it. So it's straight, and then he would do like that. So he wasn't even bending the first leg, wasn't really stretching that. He was like, yeah, that's as far as I go. I'm like, how do you go further? Like, try to push yourself. And he's just like, nah, that's good enough. And really, that just shows that you're kind of handicapping yourself.
I'm half-assing it.
Right. And, and the point is it's supposed to build those muscles, but you're just taking the easy route to say, well, I did my DDPY. Like you were just check off, I did it, even if you put in the very minimum effort.
Right.
Which then isn't helping the whole purpose of that. Now, if truly you are getting pain going beyond
That's
here.
why I stopped doing it. Seriously.
Pain, debilitating pain where you can't move, then yeah, that makes sense. But you should be actively, after doing DDPY for 3 years, you should be beyond right here. Yeah. That means you're just going, oh, I felt a little bit. Because I see you're not in pain when you're doing that. You're just doing...
I'm purposely avoiding the pain.
Yeah.
You're right. Because it's not enjoyable, so I'm not going to do it. I know. It's not detrimental to myself. I'm just prolonging the issue.
Well, I think then this is kind of what happens when...
Yeah, I know.
Then your muscles. That's why it's important to get in movement and stuff so that your muscles continue to grow.
Because I was Googling it earlier. Part of the problem, or one of the symptoms of the issues I'm having with my leg is sitting too long. In one position too long. Because I've noticed, because I sit at work all day. A lot of times when I go to get up, like you have to use the restroom, we're going to break, lunch, whatever like that. I get a throbbing pain in the back of my calf, or back of my thighs when I go to get up from the chair.
Mm.
So, I mean...
And that's from sitting too long?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lakin and I, we say, sometimes we get swamp butt.
Yes, I've had that before.
Yeah, and then I've been doing, because Renee taught me, she's like, if you're sitting for a while, like, you normally sit with your legs like this, she's like, you should be, of course, try to get up every hour at least, but you should stretch one leg out.
I do that a lot.
And then switch off and do that.
I also have to do that, though, because I still have problems with that same knee from when we had the wreck.
Yeah, that's part of it, too.
Yeah.
Well, Brenda F. said it's better than having a broke or chipped bone, right?
True. That's true. So I'm saying people all have perspective.
And then Sharon said, are the feelings you're having, were those the same feelings when you were drinking the sodas and energy drinks?
No. That's what I'm saying. No, it's not the same feeling. That's what's weird.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how is it different?
When I was having the problems with those with the diet sodas, that was affecting my left arm. And that felt... Have you ever had like your leg or your arm fall asleep on you?
Mm-hmm.
That little sensation you get, the little thing, I call it a tingling, right before your arm goes to sleep on you. That's what I was feeling, except it wouldn't all the way go to sleep.
Right.
That's what I was feeling on my left leg, left arm. And I attributed that to the diet sodas. And I don't feel like I actually had any issues with the energy drinks. But why I gave them up, so I randomly ran across a video where they're saying that it was harmful to patients with MS. So I was like, well, it ain't going to hurt nothing if I stop. I mean, it'll actually be a little cheaper if I don't buy them.
So and then explain this pain, because we've got more people joining. So explain the pain you're getting now.
It's a dull throb in my thigh, like the upper thigh right now, and then the back part of my calf. It's just a constant dullness. Like I'm saying, it doesn't hurt. It just something there is letting me know something's wrong, or that I feel something. But it doesn't really hurt. It's just an annoyance. I don't know the best way to describe it, other than that.
And you think the pain though is caused for like the way you're sitting and for sitting at that way for so long?
Maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what I don't know. That's my problem.
Okay.
I just know what I'm feeling.
Laura S. is here. Hey, Laura. She said, hi, guys. I lost track of time. Heath, why are you sad?
I'm getting old. Just MS aches and pains. Like I said, I feel bad coming on here crying to y'all. But that's what's going on.
But I think it's important to share because you do have several followers that have MS. Yeah. So they might be going through the same thing. So I think that's kind of why you have the channel, why you have the live, is so people can understand what it's like day to day living with MS. Mm-hmm. And people have MS might be able to share if they're having the same things happening.
And then I also, Friday, I talked to one of my coworkers about it because he has MS also. And he said it may be stress induced. He says that's a lot. He goes, they don't really talk about it in your diagnosis and all that and your treatment. He goes, but stress is a high factor in it. Mm-hmm. I told him, I said, yeah, that sounds great and all, but I don't feel stressed. He goes, yeah, but we do have a lot of new stuff going on at work.
Yeah.
With our operations and stuff like that. So he goes, maybe that's playing a part of it. You're just not really thinking about it, but it's still on you. But because you're not dwelling on it, but you're still thinking about it. Which is really weird because I just had my one-on-one with him and it was my supervisor. And he said that this Friday, this past check-in or whatever, I put up the best numbers I've ever had since I've been with the company.
Wow. So, I like this too because he doesn't always tell me this stuff until now.
Because I feel like if I go with you, tell you about it a couple of days before, I'll forget to talk about it today.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm just tongue-tied. I don't even know how to.
Tongue-tied. Well, but it could be.
I don't want to come on here and just cry for everybody, though.
No, it's not.
It'll be a big pity party.
I don't think it's a pity party. I think this is for real. This is your MS. You should share. I don't think anybody expects you to be happy-go-lucky all the time. I think they know that you're real and you're putting out there exactly how you're feeling and what you're going through. People need to know this because not only people with MS, but I know several people have friends or family that have MS.
One more thing while we're talking about it.
Okay.
We were talking about it yesterday or the day before about my pills. I need to update on that, remember?
Oh, okay.
So, a lot of y'all may know. If you don't, I'm going to tell you now. I get my MS medicine now. I was originally prescribed a pill called Aubagio. But, what was it, the insurance? Or no, I had, what was it? It was a company called, remember they were, it was a foundation.
MS 1-to-1 would help pay for it because it was like $3,000 a month.
Right.
Which I don't know how anybody could afford that kind of medication expense.
But I started ordering it through Mark Cuban's
Cost
Plus. And it's so much cheaper, y'all.
He pays, so we pay, this is the generic, and we pay $30 for a 3-month supply.
And it's cool because you see the bottle I got, and he sends me 3 of those every time he sends me some.
Yeah.
Well, I got tired of 3 bottles sitting up there, so I just combined them. But I have the original Aubagio here. You see, I don't know if they can see it or not, but I have a white and blues in here mixed up. Mm-hmm. This is because I'm actually not on Aubagio anymore. I'm on their generic.
Yeah, you've been on the generic for over a year.
But I don't know then.
Left.
Huh?
They probably just changed the colors.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that.
But it's like I said, instead of having 3 bottles up there, I just combine them all to one because there's plenty of room. They almost treat this. I always laughed at like when you bought like Lay's potato chips. You cut the bag open and half the bag's empty, right?
Right.
They just fill the thing with air. But I feel like these pill bottles, they do the same thing almost.
Right.
I was like, there's no sense in that. I just put them all in here. So all I was going to do is, they sent me an email telling me I was due for a refill. But I see the neurologist again on the, because I have to send the prescription over to the neurologist and have him send it over to Mark Cuban so they will refill my script. But I see the neurologist again on the 19th. Isn't that a Tuesday? Mm-hmm. So I was like, do I need to email him right now? Plus, today's a Sunday. He's not going to read it. Tomorrow's a holiday. They're not going to read it. We had talked about it. I do need to go ahead and message them either today or tomorrow to go ahead and get ahead of it. But I was figuring, while I'm sitting here talking about it, let me go ahead and just count and see how many I actually have. Because I take one of these every day. So
okay. I'll read some comments then while you're counting. Sharon said, maybe set a timer and stand up at least once each hour. That would be helpful. Now, I know you do go to the restroom quite often, so that, helps. But I think it's just changing up the movement. Just like I said, when I move the leg forward and everything like Renee had showed us. I'll do that at my desk throughout the day. I wonder if it would be helpful because I do know that they have like the under desk where you can work your feet. I wonder if that would be, since Renee's in here now, do you think that would be something that would be helpful for Heath? If he had one of those, like I've seen different, well, like I've seen some where it's like a footrest that'll massage, and then I've seen some where it's kind of like a little mini bicycle where you could stretch. Or is that just too much? Is it better instead of him, trying to stretch out the legs all the time, just like Sharon said, set a timer and every hour do like 5 or 10 squats? Would that be a better use? Because would the squats help strengthen those muscles? And would that be good for him? Because I think when we had the squat challenge, I feel like you did really well during the squat challenge. I know you cried about it, but I think it was helping your legs during that time. And what do you think? What do y'all think?
Maybe. Wasn't that thing called like a under the desk treadmill? You know what it's called?
Something. Keto Simple. Hey, Dustin said just had lunch with Evelyn, Carl, Andy, and Susan. So much fun. Oh, nice. Where'd you guys go to lunch? That does sound good. That's so nice that y'all are right there, can all go hang out and have lunch. Sharon said, does it feel like it did when you were doing the squats, like you had used those muscles?
No, it doesn't.
So not the same as that. Keto Simple said, that's what we're here for. We're invested in you all, and we're your support and not just fair weather. Oh, that's so nice, Dustin. Exactly.
99, 100.
So you got over 3 months supply.
Yeah. So I really need to order them.
I mean, you might as well. Yeah.
I'd rather have it than not need it. You know what I mean?
You might as well.
Yeah.
Sharon said, Heath, you're not crying about it. It's sharing with us. Exactly. Thank you, Sharon.
It gives us something to talk about, I guess. Yeah, it's 110. It was like 112.
Give them something to talk about.
Who was that? Is that Melissa Etheridge?
Was that Melissa Etheridge? I don't remember.
Sean here is usually my music guy.
Keto Simple said, all right, I'm driving, listening, can't see the chat. All right. And then Barely
Talk about it now.
Barely Begun said what Dustin said. Exactly. That's what you're here for. That's why you even put as your thumbnail about ask questions and share. And then what else?
There was something else I told you we were going to talk about. Remember when I sent you that? Because what I usually do is I'll make the thumbnail and I'll kick it over to her, my better half, to make sure, to quality control, check it, make sure it's cool. What she thinks about it.
Yeah.
You may have to pull it to her past chat and see. Because we message each other all day long, multiple times on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, here, let me read just a couple comments and then I'll get there. Renee said, sorry I'm late. Was watching a movie and then my internet had a brain fart.
Oh, no.
It wouldn't let me get on. And I just itched the corner of my eye with the tip of my fingernail. If you saw my brunch, ow. Oh, that sounds awful.
No bueno.
Laura said, it's life. We want to hear it all.
Oh, thank you.
Nobody has wonderful days. Gosh, I wish we did. I'm someone who deals with pain almost every day. I can relate to the comment that you know that it's there. And she said, even when my pain isn't bad, it's enough pressure to know it's there.
What have I told y'all before, though? Remember how many times have I told you? No news is good news.
Right.
Well, now I have some news.
Well, and then the other thing we were going to talk about is on Tuesday night, you started so he's always off on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, you started sneezing and sneezing. Like I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on?
Like I was allergic to something almost.
And then you started coughing, and then by the time you woke up Wednesday morning,
I could barely talk.
Yeah.
And then I spent most of the day just zonked out. I went to work Wednesday morning, then I took off early and had to use a PTO for that. And I still have problems with my legs from my neuropathy and stuff from my diabetes, I think. If I stay in bed, laying down on my back, especially too long, my legs and feet start hurting. So I sat in the living room on the couch, lights out, TV off, everything, and just slept, napped right there. And I felt amazing when I woke up.
Yeah, well,
they're not amazing, but I felt a lot better. Let's put it that way.
Eventually, when you woke up, because every time I still was working, and every time I'd come in here and he'd just be exhausted, and I've never seen he'd sleep that much since we've been together. Because usually, like, he might have an afternoon nap, but typically
it's usually a power nap.
Yeah, but typically once he's up, he's up. But all day, and of course, I already had some elderberry syrup made up, keto friendly. I found a farm not too far from here, and she was at one of the farmers markets I went to, and she did elderberry syrup. So you could either buy the elderberry syrup from her made. Now that did have honey. She was like, I only use natural stuff.
Use natural poison.
Right. Or, well, some people are okay with honey. But anyways, or she had where you could do it yourself and add your own sweetener. And she said she did that specifically for diabetics or people who didn't want to use sugar. They could use their own sweetener if they choose to, and sweeten it to, how you want. Like us, when you've been keto for a while, you don't need things as like syrupy sweet as a common person when you're on the sad day in and day out. So I like that, and I made my own elderberry syrup. And so I was having him take that, and then you also took.
You had me also drinking a bunch of kombucha,
and
my I was drinking Relight from Redmond's.
Yeah, so drinking lots of electrolytes only because you finished out the salties, but you were drinking. Well, I was like, look, you're not going to drink any sodas today. You're only going to be drinking electrolyte drinks and some kombucha. And I also,
when you see the empty, this is my second one, because I have one of these every day of the Relight. I just recycle these bottles.
Relight.
Yeah.
Well, you're showing the label like you're drinking the kombucha.
Oh no, what I'm saying though is I use the same bottle, and when you saw me drinking a minute ago, finish it, that was another dose of Relight. I just recycle these bottles.
Yeah.
There's no sense in I don't know. I don't see why not.
Anyways, so I had him doing that, and we had some was it cold and flu medicine?
Yes, I did that too.
So, but they were like 12-hour ones. So I had him actually take one Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And so he was then taking that every 12 hours and doing that. And you drank kefir.
Yeah, well, not much though, but I could have a couple.
But enough, because you don't need a whole lot to get the benefits. So, but you drank enough. It was probably like a fourth of a cup, if that, y'all. But enough again to help get those healthy bacteria in his gut and everything, and help heal. And and then what I ended up doing, since he was under the weather, I made a stew.
Oh yes,
and
was really good too.
Right, so basically just ground beef. I didn't even add broth to it because he doesn't like a lot of broth. So I did ground beef, some cauliflower rice, some different veggies, jalapenos, and I added the Texas 5 spice and some of the Slap Your Mama hot. Try to get that heat going along with the heat temperature. Right. And so we had that Wednesday night, and you weren't even really hungry, but you were like, I was like, no, come on, you can have a cup.
Because what also though, I don't know if it matters or not, or if it played any factor in it, but growing up, I inherited from my father, I feel like, because he had it too, and he told me that he had it, the same thing when he was growing up. I used to have really, really bad hay fevers. Like to the point where when the pollen count was too high outside, I had to go sit in a dark room with a damp rag, or lay in bed actually with a damp rag over my eyes, and just sit like that until it just passed. And then for years too, when we first got together, I was living basically, I call them uppers and downers. I was on Dayquil, NyQuil every single day. Remember?
Yeah.
Like clockwork.
But I feel like this wasn't allergy related. As quick as it came and as quick as it left.
Right. I just didn't know, because that's what a lot of it, what I was feeling like was when my allergies were messing with me.
But you told me immediately on Tuesday, you said after you were sneezing, you said your throat itched a lot and you were coughing and phlegm was coming up.
Yeah.
To me, when your throat's itching and you feel like lethargic and everything, to me, that's like a cold or a flu. Okay. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor.
I was just happy I kicked it.
Yeah. So you just basically focused on sleep as a priority, and then getting all of your electrolytes and other things to.
Yeah.
And I think all of that helped you. And then the soup, I don't know. I kind of think soup in general is really good if you're under the weather. It's just that warming heat, and especially when you add the spice, it just feels like it breaks everything up.
Because I notice every time you get sick, you always want to order Thai food like that. And you always want like the super hot, spicy ones.
Yes.
And it usually helps you kick it real quick.
Yeah. Is anybody else like that? What do you do when you're feeling under the weather? Because I know at this time of year, we're probably going to have people starting to get colds and flus. What do you feel like helps you? Do you think soup's a good one? I mean, of course, I think it goes without saying being keto is going to help, right? And I think that also attributes to how we quickly get over stuff. So if we do get sick, usually we can get past it rather quickly, especially when like we've been focused on gut health. I think that really helps us. Right. What do you think?
I think you're right.
I was just surprised at how well, like,
how quick
by the end of day Wednesday, he sounded 100% better.
I had gravel voice almost.
Yeah, during the day he was like, you could barely talk, but by Wednesday evening, I was like, wow, you sound amazing. And then by Thursday, you were just back at work.
Yeah.
And doing well.
Right.
So that did it too. And yeah, so let's read a few more comments. And then if you have questions, please ask. Renee said, I have one restaurator I used when I did home health that he can have. Not sure if his kayaks would fit in it, but I can bring one day to see. Squats, sit to stands, mini squats, get up and walk. Yes to all.
Okay.
So maybe that's what it was, because I do feel like when we were doing the squat challenge, you weren't using a cane or anything.
No, I wasn't. You're right.
And I felt like you were getting around a lot better.
I'm just too docile, I guess.
Yeah.
Too inactive.
I think that's our problem. We both don't like exercise. Like some of y'all love freaking working out every day
it's
you
the
get.
bane of my existence.
Right. And neither one of us like it. And so it is kind of like a chore. But I feel like you got to find a happy medium, because like the squat challenge really pushed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you need to build up to 200,
right.
in a month. She said that Restorator is the mini bicycle for the floor.
Oh, okay.
So maybe, but the squats, of course, until then, I think the squats would be a good place to start.
And the way I was doing the squats too, though, I don't know if I'm cheating or whatever, but I would go to the kitchen sink. I think it was a little easier actually because it's taller. Or I would do it in the hall bathroom and hold on to put my hands inside of the sink and use that as a brace to help me get up and down.
I mean, whatever.
But the kitchen one is taller because the countertops are higher.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I guess I can start trying to do that more.
Yeah, I think just start. Well, I know I need to get back into it too, but I think if you just start with doing like maybe 25 in the morning, or what you could do is just like Sharon said, set alarm an hour, just do 5 squats.
Yeah.
Get up, because you usually have to go potty.
You're right.
So when you go potty, stand at the sink and do 5 squats, and then go. And I think that would at least help get. Tell me if I'm wrong, but that would at least get the blood flowing to all of your thighs and your calves and everything.
Well, was it Nurse Cindy said too, though? She does a squat every time she goes to the bathroom.
Right. That's what I'm basically saying. Every time you go, then just do 5 squats. And you go to the restroom more than 5 times in a day. So you're going to be getting, overall, you'll be getting more than 25 squats in a day.
Growing up also, I was always thirsty. And I remember they always say that's a sign of diabetes. Well, I feel like I've fixed that problem, but I'm still always thirsty. That's why I always carry on these big jugs and stuff. I mean, I got 3 drinks right here too. 4 if you count the mug.
But when you say you're thirsty, like is your mouth completely dry?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I do know that caffeine, which tea and your sodas have caffeine, is a dehydrating. Dehydrates you. So it could be the tea. What do y'all think? 22Q Cat said, "That's right, Heath. You did the Squatch challenge, and that wasn't something you enjoyed at all, but you did it."
And now it's behind me, so I'm looking at it.
But I think now you kind of see how that can be beneficial for you.
Because also one of the things with the DDPY, there's one exercise you stand on the foot on your, like, say I'm sat on my left foot and I raise my right leg and push it out as far as I can. I can't pick my right. Either way I do it, when I'm bouncing on my right or my left, I can't pick up the other leg higher than I used to be able to. I used to be able to pick them up higher, and I can't now. It won't go anymore. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm regressing. But I feel like I'm more active now than when I was, used to be or whatever. So I'm just, it's racking with my head. Maybe that's the stress. I don't know.
Maybe. Barely Begun said it was body rate. Something to talk about. Thank you. Renee said, "I can attest to that messaging because sometimes he forgets which chat is just him and Shelly."
Don't be telling everybody.
And it said, "Personally, I think you should have a journal or calendar and write these types of things down with dates for your neurologist instead of going yearly and saying things are fine, because I feel like you don't give him all the info."
Oh, that may be true.
I mean, you do have a note.
Yeah, but I'm also lazy. But yeah, she's right. I've quit again. You're right.
Thank you, Renee. 22 Cat said, "Oops, I remember you talking about Heath's messaging error on the Friday Night Feast a while back. Too funny." And then Renee said, "And that's normal. Many patients are afraid to expand on issues for fear of something wrong or worse when it may be something easily fixed. Many times meds need a little tweak over time."
Well, see what's really silly about that too, because how can a doctor help me if I'm not telling him? Because that's how we figured out. Because when I was first prescribed these, it was for a 7 milligram. The same size pill, but now I'm up to a 14 milligram. Because that's when we figured out that I do have some issues still. And that's also the same time when they decided to up my meds, up the prescription, when we also found out that I was allergic to certain nuts.
Yeah. Well, and I think, too, there was something I was going to say. Now I forget.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. But okay, this is what I was going to say. I think actually is probably part of our childhood trauma in our mind, and I'm going to put myself in there. If you're not basically on the floor and unable to get up, you feel like everything's fine.
Right. You
don't put it as, oh, okay, yeah, this little thing's bothering me here and here. You're just like, well, I'm still able to walk and get around, so everything's fine. Whereas if you keep notes, then you'll kind of know what's going on more.
That's true. Okay.
And then Renee said, "No disease process goes without tweaking the treatment over the years. Write stuff down so they can help you effectively."
Or it's like I'm trying, when I'm complaining to my coworkers or whatever about the customers, sometimes you have like your pulling teeth trying to get information from them. And it's like, help me help you. And that's the same thing I need to do with my doctor, like you're saying. Mm-hmm. Help me help you.
Exactly.
Or help them help me.
Sharon says, "I bundle up and sleep when she's feeling bad."
I can't do that. Heat bothers me, and it always has.
Well, you did have a blanket on you the whole day.
That's true, though. I did. That's remember that even I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Why was I cold?
I know, because I'd come in and you were like, "Oh, I need a blanket. I'm chilly." And I was like, wow. And you had the fan off and a blanket on. So that's why I think you had a cold or a flu. Because
that's a very unusual for me.
That's not allergies.
Because how many times, Renee, have you come over Like you were even when last time y'all were here with your boy, you were teasing or laughing to him, telling about how frigid it is in this house.
Yeah, we do like it chilly.
Yeah, and that was unusual that I was cold and had to get a blanket.
Lisa's here. Hey, Lisa. She said, I love hot and spicy thin soups, especially with a sore throat. Burn the sickness out. Yes, exactly. Just burn. That's how I feel too. Like, okay, let me get some of those hot peppers that Renee got yesterday and put that in the soup and just make every pore of my body just
ignite,
cry out. And then Renee said, I like to add turmeric and black pepper to foods and even my electrolytes to help kick stuff. Oh, that's good. And that is something, thank you. In the stew that I made, I did add some fresh turmeric and fresh ginger to it. And then I sprinkled in some garlic powder. I had fresh garlic. I don't know why I didn't do that. But I made sure, and I remember as I was eating it, every once in a while, I'd get like one of those, because I just chunked it up. And I would get a little bit of the turmeric, and I'd be like, ooh, that tastes good. So I think that helped too, is I did use those fresh herbs in the stew. And then she said, and ginger citrus shots, right? The ginger, I think, is really good too. I think that's why I generally like when I feel under the weather to get Thai food, because they do typically have a lot of ginger in their sauces. Mm-hmm. I do like that. And L Strange said, howdy, Sharon, and the rest of the viewers. And Sharon said, Heath, we could do a mini squat session with you. What you're planning to do, we will do too.
I don't want to force y'all into all that.
Well, you're not forcing anybody to do anything, but if you want to share and say.
But I'm going to be doing it in the bathroom. You really want me to share that?
And we all want you to film that. But you can tell everybody,
this week on OnlyFans.
The illness OnlyFans.
But thank you for your, what do you call it, the solidarity.
Support.
Yeah.
But you can say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Like, you can either decide, do you want to do a set number of squats in the morning, or every time you go to the restroom, how many squats do you want to do?
I'm going to do 5 every time I go in there.
So there's the challenge that if you want to join along, every time you go to the bathroom, do 5 squats, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then you can share if you keep up with that, right?
No pics, I promise.
Yes. Believe me, none of us want pics. Renee said, you may not like exercise, but it will catch up with you. You feel good doing little challenges, then you stop. It's a cycle. Right. I know.
Well, I feel like it's kind of like, I booby trapped myself, because I was doing my DDPY very actively for a while there. And then I think we went on a trip or something like that. I was like, I'm fine. I don't need to do this anymore. I'm fixed. And the next thing I know, it smacked. I started having problems again. I was like, well, maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
So again, like she said, a cycle.
That's what I'm saying. I was agreeing with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. And I think, like she said, when you do the DDPY, you're supposed to be challenging yourself. So you should have a little bit of pain. Not pain where you're going to be
discomfort.
Where you're
detrimental.
Right. Yeah. Where you're then out for the next 2 or 3 days because you overextended yourself. But you should have some pressure there, and you're kind of building up to that.
He even says at the end of each session, remember, do this every day.
And I think it's also when you went hardcore before, it's because you were almost wheelchair bound and you were determined to not be in that space.
Yeah, but I forgot.
Right. You've forgotten and you've gotten lax and it's easy to just forget things. Yeah. But we need to get back in that. And she says, and didn't we talk about this? Seems like a recent conversation.
Maybe. I don't remember. I know you tuned me out. We may have talked about it.
Sharon said, put the old walker in there and you can use the handles if needed.
Right. I do have it. Because remember I told you too, I wanted to get rid of them because it's bad juju. And you're like, no, wait, just in case.
Well, not just in case. It's you've already spent the money on it, is my thing. And it's not like broken or unusable, but have it there as a remembrance of where you've come from.
Right.
And how far you've come, and remember what it took. I think that's the point too. Like Renee is like, what did it take from you to get from being chair bound to a walker to a cane to without a cane? It took effort, and it took time, and it took diligence, and you have to continue having those. Laura said, so this one we're sick again. Hot teas. Oh yeah, that's good. Hot broths. Already bought for just in case a sugar-free cold and flu medicine and sugar-free cough drops. There you go. I also have some lemon lime Zevia put away. Well, those are good suggestions.
See, I don't have any lemon lime, but I do have some
ginger, right?
No, I don't have any of those.
Oh.
Wait, what's the other one? Not the root beer, but the other one though. I have to go look at the can. I can't remember what it's called. It's the ale.
Ginger?
I guess it is the ginger ale. I guess, yeah.
That's good.
I don't get a ginger taste out of it though. Out of theirs.
No, it's very muted.
Yeah. It's my least favorite one. I almost always drink those last. I always pick something else instead.
I know. Rickwood's here. Hey, Joe. She goes, hi, it's Horde. Finally here. And Renee said, Walker can be dangerous to do squats with because it's not a firm, steady surface. So, yeah, when you do your squats, I think what would be easiest for you is you'll go to the restroom and then just stand at the sink and do your 5 squats and then go back to work.
Right.
Okay. But, hey, it's good. I mean, the one video he watched, the lady did use the walker as kind of like how DDPY says use the chair. Like, you're not supposed to put all of your weight there, but it's there to kind of help you balance if you need to. And she backed herself up into a corner and used the wall also. Right, exactly. And I was looking at it and I was asking her about, I was like, do we have any room where I can actually do that? And I'm like, right there. Huh? And I go, right there. We have to go in the hallway, but yeah. Oh my gosh. I know, but I feel like it's right there against that one picture we have hanging up. I'll end up knocking it over or something. I'm already the tapestry? Yeah. I think it'll be fine. Renee said, I also don't let patients get up with both hands on a walker. Oh. Okay. Don't let them get up with both hands. Okay. Dustin said they were in town for the meetup yesterday. Oh, they stayed the night. We went to Costco and to lunch. How fun is that? Andy and Susan live about 2 hours from here. Oh, wow. And Evelyn and Carl live about 4 hours away. Wow. That's awesome. So, like, do they live, like, further, like, towards, like, Chicago? Because I want to know if they live that close to you, and you already said earlier today that you're planning on meeting up with us when we're in town on the road trip. Maybe they can meet up also. Yeah. I want to meet everybody. That's the whole point of why we want to do the road trip. I know. Renee said, so today, in caps, start a journal with dates, enter how you feel daily with honesty. Keep it at your table. All right. Rickwood said, found some porterhouse steak yesterday. Ooh, at the local grocery for about 46% off. Nice. Wow. Nice. Got some, cooked one last night. Really good. Ooh, I bet it is. I love a good porterhouse steak. Oh, so delicious. What a good deal, Joe. Right. Keto Simple said, when I feel bad, I want to sleep more than anything. Well, see, part of my problem, too, with my MS, I sleep all the time, too. I fall asleep a lot. Because, like, even at work, they even got me extra 30 minutes of breaks in. So part of what I do is I take it, especially in the afternoon, because it really, really seems like it hits me hard after lunch. I'll take a 15-minute power nap and just sit at my desk I set my alarm for 13 minutes, make sure I'm back in time. But I take basically a 13-minute power nap, sitting there at my desk.
take my headset off, take my glasses off, and just sit there and close my eyes and actually sleep. About 13 minutes. But I end up doing that 2 or 3 times every day.
2 or 3 every day?
Yes.
You told me you were only doing it once.
I know, but here lately I've been doing it 2 or 3.
Like lately, meaning this week only?
No,
or
last couple of weeks.
Last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
See, I never get to hear any of this.
Because I don't feel like it's anything worth telling you. I'm at work. That's all.
Yeah, but if you're having to sleep multiple times a day, then that's.
I mean, how often do I fall asleep while we're sitting on the couch watching TV too?
I mean, sometimes you will. It's not like immediately.
I feel like it does it. I know it's not immediately I sit down, but I'm saying like almost every day, every evening I fall asleep on the couch while we're watching a show.
You didn't fall asleep last night.
I feel like I did, but okay. But if you don't think I did, I mean, it's cool. But
no, I mean you do sometimes, but then also you get up sometimes at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Sometimes more. I've been a couple of times I'll wake up like 1 or 2 in the morning, use the bathroom, go back to bed, and then back up again at 5:30 or whatever.
Right, and so usually about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Sometimes you do doze off.
Yeah, but I just continual battle.
But I would think, this week, probably if you had a cold or flu, you would be more exhausted because your body's still recovering. But what do I know? But if you were writing this stuff down, then we would know exactly when you were taking additional naps. Renee said, it's freaking Arctic at the Parker Palace. Really? I don't, like, sometimes I go and I'm like, it's kind of warm today.
I know.
Right?
Yes.
And then I'll look and it's like, oh, it's 73. What were you hitting for?
I gotta go use the bathroom. I hate doing this in the middle of a live. Because I went right before we went live, too. I gotta fall back here. I feel like that's an old man using this thing.
But sometimes, like during the day, it's 73, 74, 75 sometimes. So to me, I don't think that's Arctic. At night, we keep it at like 69. I think those are things, or averages. Keto Simple said, it's better to have a place cold. You can put on clothes. If it's too warm, it gets awkward, right? Right, exactly. Laura S. said, I started watching your MS journey from the beginning. Yes. And you were doing strict carnivore and had really good results. You think maybe try it again and see if that helps again. I'll ask him when he comes back, but I don't think he will. But see, Laura, like you were saying, he was doing strict carnivore. He's forgotten that because he'll be like, I was never strict carnivore. And I'm like, yes, you were. He can't forget a lot of stuff. And that's why I'm glad we filmed it. So we go back and say, no, look what you were doing then. Right? So thank you, Laura. Dustin said, oh yeah, we went to Portillo's. It's a Chicago beef and Chicago dog plate. Yeah, I've been there. We went there and we went there because of the Chicago dog. And I think we got a couple other things, and it was okay. There was someplace else we went in Chicago because we've been to Chicago at least twice, maybe 3 times on different road trips. And we found other places that were not as known. And I felt like their Chicago dog and what is it? The Chicago steak or something was better.
Chicago steak? I don't remember that.
Or remember it was like a sandwich. What was a sandwich? Because they said they went to Portillo's or Portillo's. Remember that's where we went, and we got the Chicago dog, and you were like, yeah. And then we went somewhere else and just got it like out of the back of a truck or something.
Yeah,
it
one
was
of those
way
like
better.
Food trucks, the cart. Like remember, like on Matlock when you used to go get the hot dog cart.
Right,
that was a lot better.
But I think that's the thing is like when you go to Chicago, I think everybody goes to Portillo's for like that's the main place you go to, and then it's like the main tourist trap, right? But Laura, as I've told you before, she's been really watching, your MS from the beginning. And she said at the beginning, you were doing strict carnivore.
I know, but I miss vegetables, honestly.
Yeah.
And I miss hot, spicy stuff.
Well, she was saying maybe doing that again to see if it helps.
Right.
I think, honestly, this is my thinking. I think, and you'll see that too, right, Laura? In the beginning, he was working out harder.
Yeah.
Like you were pushing yourself.
Yeah, I get complacent.
You get very complacent and I think part of it is because I'll say, did you do your DDPY? And he's like, yeah. And so he's just like doing it as a check mark, but he's not doing it for beneficial reasons.
Yeah.
Not to get on you, because I do the same thing. Like I was doing squats every day, and then I haven't been again.
Well, also when I first started doing it, you were doing it right along with me, and then I think partly when you quit doing it with me, I gave up on it too. I'm not trying to throw you under the bridge, but I just think that's part of that's my illogical reason.
Because to me, honestly, doing the chair force, and here's my thing: I don't like, because back in the day, I did the sweat to the oldies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you had to buy the DVDs. Well, then it got too repetitive for me because I was doing these same ones to where it was just too easy. And in my mind, I don't like that. I like to have a challenge. So when you're doing the chair force or the stand strong, I did those so much that it's like it doesn't
do anything for you.
Right. But when you were starting to do the actual DDPY, like his beginner into intermittent, then I was like, okay, like that had some where you were kind of really struggling at parts, and I tried to join you on a couple of those. I was like, wow, that really is pushing it.
Because I remember too, this is when we were in the hotel, and the time that Renee came and visited, she's like, oh wow, that is a really good workout.
Right.
And I was doing a little more advanced back then. Then, like I said, I got complacent, and that's why I reset and started over again.
Yeah.
I'm my own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm. Rickwood said, Heath, you already have shared a bathroom trip, I think, on the Friday night feast.
But do you really want to repeat?
I love how y'all remember everything.
So I said, real friends stab me in the front. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, Renee said maybe you need to do a yearly detox, like Laura is saying, to strip out all the buildup of junk. Just go strict carnivore for a little bit. I mean, we did do the triple B and E.
Yeah, I miss my cheese though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe, okay, that's a lot going on. So I think maybe first start with the exercise, because I think that's really where you need to push that a little bit further. And also, if you do pushing on the exercise also will help get rid of some of those toxins that are built up as well.
Right.
So I think just try to do one thing at this time and do that for a while and see if you're seeing improvement. And then you can, try other things, but one thing at a time. Because sometimes we have the, where, let's just change everything at once. And then you kind of get overwhelmed and then you just stop everything. You know what I mean? So build one new habit.
Diet fatigue.
Right. Yeah. So do one new thing for like the rest of, today's November 10th. So we still got most of November. So do the one thing, the squats. So start building in right now for the rest of November, start building in doing 5 squats every time you go to the restroom.
I didn't do it just then, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then at the end of November, you can see how are you feeling, and if you need to then go a step further with something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's not try to put in tons of changes. Let's do one thing at a time and get that habit going, and then you can go back if you feel like, okay, I've been doing this, but I'm still having these pains. Then we can see about, okay, now this month we could get stricter on this, cut this stuff out. And part of it could be, like you were saying, wow, this whole week we did not go out to eat. Remember, you were like, wow, that's a first week in a long time where we did not go out to eat, not once.
Right.
And so that could be it too. Eating, all of that crap in, as you know, there's still always crap in the food, but
Right.
so maybe, cutting back on eating out would also be helpful.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
No,
it could
it
be
hurts
that
because
too.
you're right.
It could be that too.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a lot of factors here.
Yeah.
Focus on one thing you want to do this month. So if you're like, I don't want to say no more eating out for the rest of the year, maybe this month, and this could be in a way, you can prove to me that it's not the eating out that's bothering you. It's because of your lack of effort on exercise.
Right.
So if you get in and you're doing these squats and you're pushing a little bit harder on DDPY, then on December you could be like, oh, I'm feeling better. See, it wasn't the eating out, it's because I wasn't working out.
Yeah.
So you can try to prove it and see what it is.
Well, one way we know is if we have to go out to eat more often, then we'll know. We'll weigh it against it then.
No, not go out to eat.
That'll be a true test then.
Oh my gosh. Debbie Oliver's here. Hey, Debbie said, well, hello, y'all. What's up?
Howdy.
Renee said, I tell patients the no pain, no gain theory is crap. Soreness, yes. Push out of your comfort zone, yes. Well, I think that's the thing too. Because see, I understand what you're saying, but it's hard for me, and I'm going to call this out. It's hard for me, like when he says, oh, when I'm doing where he's supposed to put the leg behind him like that and bend the first one, he'll say, oh no, that hurts. And I'm like, but is it a soreness or is it actual pain? And he's like, what do you say?
Yes.
So I think maybe I can't describe it well, so maybe you could, Renee. But what is the pain or soreness that is acceptable when he's doing these DDPY exercises? Because he's saying what I was showing earlier, Renee, one of the exercises is your legs are side by side like this, right? They're side by side, and you have a chair on either side, whatever side we're working, to help with balance. And what you're supposed to do is take one leg and put it straight back behind you while the front leg is bent on the knee, but not the overextending the knee. But then having that stretching go back is supposed to help stretch the muscles on the back of this leg. Well, what he's been doing is instead of like stretching like that or even like that, like I've seen some of them where they like almost do the splits, but instead of at least doing that much, he's like that. And
any kind of discomfort I avoid.
Right. So if he's like, because if he does it where then neither leg is bent, he's not bending either of them because he's just basically one foot's just a little bit behind the other. And I'll say, well, you should be pushing to where this leg goes further back to where then your knee, you're bending your knee here. And he's like, nope, that hurts.
And I feel like I'm fixing to fall too. Even with holding onto the chair, I still feel unbalanced. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting in my own head, messing myself up.
So that's where I'm like, no, you should be pushing yourself a little further. And he's like, no, it hurts. So that's why maybe you can explain further what is the true pain that should be like, no, stop, don't go to that point because that is harmful pain versus what would be the acceptable. In his case, I'm using the word pain because that's what he tells me. Mm-hmm. What would be the acceptable pain limit that would be beneficial for him? Sharon said, I removed that, but forget she still sees the post. Oops, don't use the walker. Renee says no. Oh, okay, thank you. Well, he probably won't. He'll be using the countertops, right, for doing your squats. Yeah. Renee said, it's also a confidence thing. Feeling safe holding a non-movable object to hold and you'll squat more effectively. Oh, okay. Keto Simple said, they are in Ohio. Oh, okay. And he said, I imagine they are planning to attend as well. Okay. So they're all in Ohio. Well, that's awesome. Good. Renee said, to me, little naps make me more sleepy and less effective sleep at night. That's my thing too, Renee.
I used to be the same way, honestly.
Oh?
But here lately, I just need a power nap. Either that or I've already, it's psychosomatic or whatever. I've already like built it up in my head that I need it.
Oh, the nap?
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, now I need 2 naps. Now I need 3 naps during the day.
Yeah.
Because that's like, I will sleep late, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But once I'm up, like I think I slept to about 10:30 today. Mm-hmm. But then once I'm up until like 10:30, 11 p.m. at night. I've never been a nap person. And so it's hard for me to take naps because I just, it's not really good for me.
Well, I'm figuring though on the road trip stuff, one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to get really excited like we are about it, or they're going to get tired of us talking about it. Or maybe I'm just too much of a pessimist.
Well, I don't know. Rickwood said, if you go outside and walk around the backyard instead of trying to take a nap, you'll feel more energized.
Okay, that's a very, very good idea. Only thing I'm kind of concerned about is that for a while, like y'all were saying, when I had that issue with my eyes, the outside light does affect me. So when I come back in, I can't focus on the computer like I need to, though. That's why I stopped doing that, because I was going outside for a while until I figured out that's what was messing with my eyes.
But then you said a while back that you no longer had that issue.
I know, but here lately I have been having it, especially when I go to drive and stuff too. So that's why I'm wondering what's going on with me. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong to make that come back? Only other thing I can think of, I'm going to be brutal honest with it, I have been having a lot more cheat meals now lately. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
I very well could be. Yeah, because those toxins getting in there.
Maybe, like I said, I'm just booby trapping myself.
Well, I think it's easy to just get complacent and a bit lazy and not keeping up on things and not telling your wife all these things either. But yeah, and then Rickwood said, I did that when I used to work. I agree. I do that too, Joe. Like, I don't really get sleepy at work, but I try to, like, at least once in the morning and once in the afternoon, take the dogs outside, not just open the door. I try to take the dogs outside, walk around the deck, go talk to my rosemary bush, and, just kind of get some natural sun on me and then go back to work. But if you're having the eye issues again, then again, that means, you need to get a little stricter on things and probably not eat out so much.
Yeah.
Keto Simple says he tries and grabs a little nap every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, maybe I don't know. Sharon said, use that 13 minutes to walk around. Using energy gets you more energy.
Does it, though? Or does it make me more tired?
And then Renee said, gotta use the bathroom because this chat is way too heaty. Laughed my ass. Rickwood said, I keep the house at 71. It is comfortable. And if I get chilled, I put on a long sleeve shirt. Today is the first day has been cool in Georgia.
See, she does over than us because we usually keep ours at 76.
Well, but, now this month and last month, it hasn't even got to 76.
I noticed that.
It usually
are at 72, 73, what I've noticing.
Yeah, or sometimes when I get off work at 4:30, it'll say like 75 in the house. So that's good because it's not using the AC until I get off work at 4:30 and then turn it down a little bit. And then I like that. Renee said, I like that little statement, Sharon, about that using energy gets you more energy. I agree.
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm glad y'all are also telling him this because I say it. What do I know? Keto Simple said the Wiener Circle in Chicago is better. There are local joints that are so much better. Italian beef, that's it.
Yeah,
and Chicago Dogs place across the street from the Metro, a music venue. We have Portillo's here now. Oh, wow. Yeah, the Italian beef, which we should know that for the bear.
Right. Duh.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Lisa said, I did sweat into the oldies too. Right. I did the sweat into the oldies, y'all. Sometimes now, even, of course, I don't hear it as much now, but sometimes on a radio, one of those songs I'll hear, and it's just
flashbacks.
Like, huh?
You get flashbacks?
Yes, I get flashbacks, and I feel like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing like those moves, right?
That's awesome.
I'm like, that's awful that now those songs I don't hear those songs as like, oh, those were songs for the 50s and 60s. Now I'm like, no, that was sweat to the oldies. I gotta do these different little moves, right? Keto Simple said, it's strange. I feel better doing carnivore, beef and eggs, but I feel like crap eating extra stuff, but I still do it.
Yeah.
What do you, I honestly, I feel better not being carnivore.
Me too, honestly, because I miss stuff like
that's me.
Like our
pork belly Brussels.
Yeah, and the cheese stuffed jalapenos.
Well, to me, it isn't that. It's not. I mean, yes, I enjoy the flavors and the variety and stuff. For me, when I was strict carnivore, my gut hated it. Mm-hmm. It just was not a good. It didn't sit well with me. So I know, like, some people say, "Oh, you don't need fiber," but I think I personally need some fiber because otherwise my gut is very unhealthy. Like, it just did not. I tried for a year and a half being carnivore, and I was I would feel good in some aspects, but I felt horrible in other aspects. So
it may be a mental thing for me, but I just need the variety also.
The variety thing, yeah.
And pre-keto, I hated cauliflower. Now I love it.
Yeah, I think I feel like our biggest downfall is actually eating out. Mm-hmm. Because when we, like, during the pandemic and stuff, we weren't eating out. Right. I feel like things worked better. And like in January, when we were doing no spins, so we did not eat out that entire month, I felt much better. Yeah. I think that's really our downfall, is eating out.
Yeah, you're right.
But, and then at the same token, it's like, but then I enjoy eating out. You know, it's like it's a double-edged sword there. Like, I know it's not the healthiest choice for me, and I shouldn't do it. But then there are days when I'm like,
you just crave certain restaurants.
Right, or I crave being catered to.
Right.
Like, sometimes it's nice to have somebody else cook and clean for me.
What?
Where I don't have to do any of that, and I like just somebody else.
Would it be cheaper than to hire a caterer, or a chef or whatever?
I don't think we have personal chef money. Renee said, maybe he needs a different kind of class. I get bored and try to switch up stuff with patients. I'd be bored doing the same exercise for years. See, that's my thing too. Yeah. That's why, like, I don't do all of the DDPY with Heath anymore, because to me it was too monotonous. And that's why, see how DDPY did it. He's got hundreds of different workouts, so they're not all the same. You can either do a program like the Stand Strong that Heath's doing, and then you could do beginner, and then you're supposed to keep moving up and then do an intermittent, and then finally advanced. And then, so there's those courses that you could do, but he also has a whole catalog of all different others that you could just go through and say, okay, I'm looking for beginner classes, and you can change it all up to all the different beginner classes if you wanted to. So the options are there with DDPY. I think, again, it's like he said, complacent. It's easier to just be like, well, I know the Stand Strong one, so I'll just do that. And I feel like here's where we're a little different. Like, Renee and I, we like things. We like a change, and we like a challenge, right? That's how I am. Even in my work, I don't doing the same thing. Like, because I've heard people before, coworkers, that are like, oh, if I get paid this much and I'm doing the same repetitive task for the next 20 years, I'm okay with that, because I'm just here to clock in and clock out and get a paycheck, and I'm good doing the same thing.
Back your wage.
And that's how you are, right? With work, you're like, I don't need new things at work. Just keep me doing the same thing. Right. and I know Renee's like this too. I like to change. Like if I was just doing the same thing, I would get so freaking bored. And that's why, like, I love the company I'm at now, because they're always looking at, they don't want you to just be stagnant. And they like it when you're like, no, push me more, push me to learn this. Even if it's stressful, let's push and do something new and different, and, progress yourself with your different skill sets and everything. And I like that type of challenge. But I feel like you're not that type of person.
Leave me alone is what I'm like.
Right. So I think with him, it's more of a trying to think of the word. It's like comfort going, yes. Oh, I know the stand strong routine. I know what the moves are, so I'm good doing the same things.
I want to go down the path with the least resistance is what I want to do.
Rickwood said, Heath, you need to remember to keep the MS at bay. You have to keep moving and trying harder.
Right. Like I have to outrun the MS almost like.
Yeah. And Rickwood said, how about just beating eggs and jalapeno poppers for 30 days?
I can try.
I think right now for November, focus on your squats and focus on pushing yourself more with DDPY. And then in December, we can look and see how you're doing. So, I'll follow along and let's see, how is he progressing each week? And then when December hits.
So much pressure.
Oh, that's pressure for you?
Maybe not.
Debbie said, I do the same thing. I am gung-ho on workouts for like 2 months. Then if I don't do it for a week, it'll be 6 months before I start up again. My willpower disappears, and then I get mad at myself. Yes, and that's what I do. I push too hard, and I basically burn myself out. Where it's better, like I know this logically, I know this. It's better for long term to make small incremental changes over a long period of time, and you'll keep those changes longer. So that's like the fact with the squat challenge. Like, yeah, I did it. I was all gung-ho with that squat challenge, and I kept it up for like a week or two after, and then it just lost because it was too much, too quick, and then it just falls off for me. Whereas I think if I make small changes, like before that, I was just, okay, this week I'm going to add 5 more squats to my daily routine. Then it was slowly building over time and keeping that going.
That's how it was with keto. Remember, I'll ease my way into it.
Right. So that's why I'm saying these are all great suggestions that we can look at that everybody's given us. But I think you need to pick one change that is a small change that you could do for the rest of this month. And then we'll consider where to go December going forward.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Just so much. But yeah, you're right.
What's so? I've tried to make it so it's not so much.
No. Thank you.
So what is one small thing you want to do for the rest of November?
The squats.
The squats. Okay, there we go. Renee said, maybe pare down to simple meat, cheese, eggs, etc. Allow yourself your own HH seasoning because they're clean. You don't have to do it completely boring and still get results.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's how we eat most of the time. Yeah. It is. That's what I told him. Like this week, having that stoop. And, like I've just been having cottage cheese every day for my lunch. We do generally eat the same thing.
Yeah, I saw a recipe earlier today on somebody's reels, and they're using cottage cheese, and I want to do that.
Right. A lot of, like today for lunch, I made us, it was really good. Pumpkin pancakes. And it was just the cream cheese and eggs with the pumpkin puree, and then I made a maple pumpkin butter syrup to go on top of the pancakes. It was amazing. It was really good, y'all. So that, again, a completely keto. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just, let's just focus on the one thing, and then we'll go from there. And again, yeah, if we aren't eating out, we are really clean with things.
Yeah.
Keto Simple said, if cheese makes you feel crappy, is it worth it? These are questions I need to ask myself and confront with myself.
I don't feel like it does. Because remember, I did the triple B&E, and I gradually worked the foods back in. And when I added the cheese, I had no ill effect to me.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the cheese.
Right. Well, that's a great question, though, Keto Simple.
Yeah.
Fill in cheese or just fill in anything. Because that's how you were with energy drinks.
Right.
You were like, if the energy drinks are actually hurting my MS, is it worth to keep drinking them?
Well,
and you made the decision, no, it's not worth taking that chance, whether it is or isn't,
right.
Because a lot of people say that it does, that is it worth the risk?
Right. That's why every once in a while now, only on occasion, will I even get one of those energy drinks mixed into my double rainbow.
Oh.
But remember, I used to do it every time.
Yeah.
But now I don't anymore.
No, that's it. And Renee said, I don't think it's the cheese, though. If you do keep cheese, do your basic ones, not the bougie. Well, what fun is it if you can't do bougie cheese? Do my Aldi bougie cheese.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like your cheese you mostly have is the blocks of cheese that like I get at Kroger.
It's usually either mozzarella or cheddar. Or, every once in a while I'll get bougie. I'll get Monterey Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually what he's eating as his main cheese or cream cheese for the stuffies.
Yeah.
Laura said, I'm with Renee. Maybe change your workout. Probably bored.
I'm not, though.
Right? Oh, yeah, he's not bored. I'm the bored one. Look, I'm
doing it because I have to. That's why I hate it.
Yes.
It's not because I'm bored. Because I don't want to do it. I'd rather just be sitting there watching TV.
22 Cat asked Dustin any ideas of what restaurant that's dog friendly while Shelly and Heath are here in March. I'll go about anywhere except crazy downtown.
Okay, one thing we have done on that road trip, there's a website called Bring Fido. And everywhere we're going, we have been checking that website to see if any of those places like grab us.
Yeah. Keto Simple said, really just use a cheese as an example. Right. I knew what you were saying.
Yeah. Thank you, though.
Oops. And Renee said, true. And Brenda F said, was stew cooked in the Instant Pot? I'm loving mine. Yes. So all I did, y'all, is I took almost frozen log of beef, that 3-pound log I get from Kroger, 80-20. I put that in there. I then chopped up like a whole thing of fresh turmeric, fresh ginger, even with the skin. Like I shaved some of the really barky skin, but I was like, you know what? It's going in this soup. It'll just melt away. Dice that up. And then I did a bag from Aldi of the garlic and herb cauli rice. I added, we had one sweet potato left, so I also diced that up. I did a can of roasted tomatoes.
Nice.
The rest of the bell pepper from, when Renee and Joe were here, I diced up that. I feel like.
Then you add some of it.
Some jalapenos.
The fajita vegetables, the frozen.
Well, that was to what you made this week, but not the original. Oh, some onion. And just all of that together. And then I didn't even add broth. It just used the broth, basically the beef fat, and then the water from the different vegetables. Mix that all together because I like it brothy, but he likes it thick. This made it like really thick, like a stew thickness. And then of course I added the Slap Your Mama Hot, and I added our Texas 5 Spice, and I added like a third of the container of the sofrito. So and the sofrito has like the chunks of garlic in it and sun-dried tomatoes. So all of that melded together, and we just kept it in the Instant Pot on warm for like 2 days, 2.5 days while we ate at it. So we got Wednesday dinner, Thursday dinner, and I had it again for my lunch on Friday, the rest of it. So that went a long way. That was 5 meals.
I think, yeah.
off of that one pot. It was really good. Oh, so Dustin saying Kuma's would be a good choice. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Laura said, don't eat any vegetables at breakfast and lunch. Save them for dinner.
Okay, but the problem with that, I find, if y'all have seen my pictures, I like putting salsa, the chunky salsa, on my hard-boiled eggs. That's eating vegetables. There's peppers and onions and stuff in there.
Yeah, because your breakfast is basically just hard-boiled eggs and sausage.
And cheese. Yeah.
And cheese. So all of that, there's no vegetables other than your salsa.
Right.
And then and then lunch, sometimes you will have a little vegetable in with that.
Usually have avocado.
Well, yeah, avocado at lunch. Uh-huh. So that's a veggie.
Occasionally, every once in a while, because that's another problem with me doing carnivore. Also, I love salads.
Yeah.
Occasionally for lunch, I'll have a salad.
Yeah. But like this week.
This week, yeah.
What did you have for your lunch this week?
So last week, what did I have exactly?
Pork chops?
Yeah, mostly, all pork chops, yeah.
What vegetables did you have with it?
Potato.
You would have a sweet potato?
Yeah.
Every day, or?
Yeah, almost, yeah.
So you cut that out, and then dinner, of course, we had the stew.
Yeah, or we would have, like the other night, we had the pork belly Brussels.
Yeah, pork belly Brussels. So the Brussels last night.
Yeah.
So we had the pork belly Brussels. Oh, and a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
We split the rotisserie chicken from HEB.
Yeah.
And so he had a little more than half of that, and then the pork belly Brussels. So the Brussels and the mushrooms and tomatoes in that were your veggies.
Right. Oh, and a side salad.
Yeah, you had the rest of the salad.
Yeah. I thought there's still a bag in there.
Yeah, but that's good. So yeah, cut out the vegetables, and that'll get you to lower carb. Isn't that what Dr. Berry told you? Yes.
Yeah.
Renee said, I have to see him do it. How you do the thing. I watched several factors would have a patient's work and assess pain by several observations.
Okay.
It's not really about the bending. It's about weight shifting. That's my fault. I should have done some with you when I was there. Well, I can always record him when he does it so you can see. Okay. And what do you think?
What?
Keto Simple is offering to pick 22Q Cat up, and she goes, my personal Uber driver. Oh, nice of you to offer. And then Dustin said, I think I'm going to take a power nap now. The kids will be over tonight for family dinner and games. Oh, what fun. Rickwood said, Heath, I have cataracts and AMD. If it really sunny, I wear sunglasses outside and my eyes don't react to the bright sun.
Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah. Wear your sunglasses out there.
That's true.
See,
they always find a workaround for me.
Exactly. Thank you all. Thank you so much. And Laura said, oh no, you've been eating a lot of those ice creams. Uh-oh, Laura, uh-oh. I can just tell right now, it's like you just stabbed him. Have you checked the ingredients?
No, I haven't actually. We'll pull it up on the app. Because remember, I just picked them up this morning. I picked up another box.
Okay.
And it'll tell you the ingredients on there. Because when I unloaded it, because I did this morning, I went to Sam's. I got another package of those ice cream bars and another pack of our sausage. Well, I brought them home. They're both in the deep freeze. Because it was just easier to put it there. Because then I put the cooler back on the cooler, the ice packs, everything right back there. And the cooler goes back into the garage where we usually store it.
Well, and I also know with you, you're the type of person, and I guess I'm kind of this way too. Like you'll find something and you go crazy over it until you basically exhaust yourself of it, right?
Yeah, but that never happens with ice cream.
Okay.
Only reason why I've stopped eating the keto chow ice cream because I feel like it was giving me bathroom pyrotechnics, and I'm not happy with that.
Okay, so here's the ingredients: water, cream, allulose, coconut oil, chicory root fiber, but I don't think you have stomach issues with it.
No, I don't.
Erythritol, whole milk powder, milk protein concentrate, cocoa processed with alkali, egg yolks, milk fat, unsweetened chocolate, pea protein, olive oil, tapioca starch, buttermilk powder, natural flavors, skim milk powder. Is it saying oat flour? I'm surprised it has oat flour. Sea salt, stevia, glycides, steel, locust bean gum, gur gum, soy lecithin, pectin, monk fruit, and sodium bicarbonate. Maybe that oat flour.
But I don't know because only I'm doing them. I only eat one bar a day.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's been several days where we didn't eat them.
Oh yeah, like this past week because somebody brought us pumpkin.
By the way, I'm out of that pumpkin pie, so you need to make me another one, please. I'm putting an order in now.
You already said that on Friday night.
I know, but I have to keep telling her or else she'll forget.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing my duty.
Oh my gosh.
I'm helping you help me. Because I love you.
All right, let me see here. Because I don't remember the oat flour being in the ones we got from HEB.
Oh, I don't either.
Ooh. Whoa. Jumping on me, y'all.
And I've already threw away all the old boxes, so we just assume since it's the same brand, it's gonna be the same ingredients.
Yeah, the other one doesn't have.
Or what if also maybe it's that flavor? Remember, because that's the triple chocolate one or whatever.
Yeah, that might be that flavor because
the ones we get at the Heb. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, you can't have the peanut butter.
No, I can't.
Let's see. Now here's the triple chocolate at HEB. Let me see. Does have oat flour towards the end there. I wonder. Let's see here. Here's butter pecan. Let's see what's in that. Yeah, the butter pecan doesn't have it.
So just the triple chocolate?
Yeah, that's weird. Now, I don't know how much is in that one, but none of the other ones have that.
Huh.
So maybe that's that.
But again, though, like I said, I'm only eating one of those a day.
Yeah, but
it'd be. Honestly, I thought they said like the doses in the poison or whatever.
Maybe your body doesn't like oat flour, though.
That's messing with my leg, you think?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
And that's what Brenda F said. It's a thought. Sharon said, I was thinking the same thing about the ice cream. So maybe that's it because we switched to the triple chocolate.
But you know the reason not to, though? Because when we buy them at HEB, they come in a 4-pack and are like about what, $6 a piece, a box? Mm-hmm. And you got, what is it, the 12-pack?
Mm-hmm. And it's only 12.
Yeah. It was the cheaper. But hey, if I'm saving money, but it's making me sicker, really am I saving anything?
Right. Exactly. Renee said, I think it's a combo we all are guilty of, getting lax and losing focus. It's hard because we feel fluxes in motivation, and that's okay. It's being human. Sometimes we got to step back and regroup. And she gave you hugs.
Yeah.
I think that's true. And that's why I'm saying let's do small steps. Because otherwise, if you try to change too much at once, you can then kind of retaliate from doing that. Right. So just make a small change and then we'll go from there. But yeah, maybe not get the triple chocolate.
After we finish this 12, I guess. Or I got an idea. Huh? Return them. They haven't been opened.
I mean, yeah, you could do that.
I don't know.
Renee said, maybe like Laura said, eat some veg at dinner and maybe pick a very small group of them to select from.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like our veggies are pretty
minimal.
Yeah.
And I think my main focus still is meat first.
Yeah.
And I always eat my biggest portion is meat.
Yeah. I mean, like limited where, I mean, we did have the delicata squash, but most of the time it's onions, mushrooms, jalapenos.
That's almost like a meat accent, I feel like.
Yeah. Sometimes bell pepper, if they're on sale. Right. If they're not on sale, I generally don't buy them. And then sometimes sweet potato, but that also goes in phases.
Right.
Because sometimes, like, the whole soup was only one small sweet potato in that whole thing, and that was 5 meals worth.
And if I do it at lunch, I just have one.
Yeah. And asparagus. I forgot. I do like asparagus.
I do too.
Which is also, asparagus is great for gut health.
Yeah.
Rickwood said, but weren't you going to eat out to save money for the trip to Ohio next year? Right. We were supposed to come back so we could travel more next year.
I know, but I want to go back to Jalisco again. This place is amazing. I'm craving it. Incoming message. But maybe that's where I'm messing up also. Because I still end up eating their tortillas when we go there. Maybe that's my problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be eating out so much.
And that place is kind of expensive too, because it is so good.
We would save a lot more money. Like you said, we've got, basically last time we ate out was Saturday with Renee and Joe.
Right.
And that was it. Renee said, no one says you have to restrict anything. Like, I eat the Renee way of eating. I don't do challenges because I know I fail. You can pare down and still have choices, but clean it up.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like really the cleaning up would just be don't eat out.
Yeah.
Or eat out. Like we went to Corkscrew, that was easy because that was just all meat. The only veggies we got there were some pickles, jalapenos, and onions.
Right.
But that was mainly meat focused.
Yes.
So, or if we do the K-pot, that's meat focused as well.
Right. So you want to go tonight? I'm just saying.
Hey, Kendra.
Hey, howdy.
Said, hey, yo, everyone, not familiar with the Renee way of eating.
She's not either.
I think that's just basically eat meat first.
Right.
Renee said, I feel some can be stagnant with jobs, but get stagnant with your health. You will pay the wages painfully. Right. Exactly. Sharon said, 5 tinkle squats are done. Way to go, Sharon. Look at you. You're already ahead of the curve.
Show off.
Let's see here. And then Sharon said, I'm with you, Heath.
Thank you.
Right. Way to go, Sharon. Oh, wow. Okay. Kendra, wow, that's great. She's been low carb for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome.
Lost hundreds of pounds also, but stuck at 200 and a lot of metabolic and health challenges. Yeah, there's always, it's just because you're keto and stuff doesn't mean you're going to have 100% perfect health, or low carb means there's still things we have to do. That's why I say exercise and getting outside and some sunlight every day helps as well.
Yeah.
Renee said, bougie cheese. I mean, once with all the added flavors and seasonings.
Yeah.
And then she said, well, Heath, occasionally we have hiccups and need to reevaluate. It's not a permanent change. Just clean up for a set period and then reincorporate.
Well, we've been, keto 5 years now?
Almost 6.
Yeah. And I'm not using it as a cop-out. I just, a current or constant struggle for me is still breads. Especially pizza and burgers. That's a constant battle for me. It's my huge kryptonite.
Yeah.
Because I crave them still.
Oh, Sharon said those bars are 16 total carbs per bar. Wow. Well, I'm glad we only have maybe one a day.
Yeah. That's all I've ever eaten is one a day. I've never had any more.
Renee said, oh, you have to keep telling me to make you another cheesecake like I have to keep telling you about the therapy suggestions.
What? Your phone's breaking up. I didn't hear you.
Rickwood said, a company changes ingredients on a regular basis. You have to keep looking at the ingredients. That's very true.
What's that one pasta sauce we always buy? The
Rayo's?
Yeah, remember? They
changed it. Yeah. Oh, anything that has a label, you need to always read the label every time you buy it.
The same thing happened with one of those mayonnaise jars we used to buy all the time. The brands, they did theirs too.
Oh, I don't remember.
I can't remember what it's called because we used to always buy them. The giant one at Costco, but you can get the smaller one at
I didn't know they changed their.
I thought they did too. I thought they did also.
Oh, we're
Can't remember the name
say
of it.
that.
Not Chosen Foods. It's another one though.
But I don't know if that's right. But anyways, you do have to always read. If there's a label, you should always be reading it, and that is true. And that's where we kind of
get lax.
We got lax on those keto bars because, well, I did read them at Kroger. I mean, not Kroger, at HEB, but I didn't do it at the Sam's.
Right. We just assumed. Right,
and that's what you get. Sharon said only 4 grams of fiber. Oh wow! So, and it had lots of gums. That has lots of gums in it. Brenda F said, if a little tiny pill every day help you, then a little ingredient every day can make you sick. I like that. That's really good.
I don't like your logic.
I like it.
It's cutting into my ice cream. No bueno.
Wow.
But thank you.
Kendra said she's off metformin. That's good.
Awesome.
But frustrated with A1C at 5.9, even though I'm eating just protein. Wow. Well, and I that's why I say carnivore wasn't the best for me. You just have to find what's going to work for you and getting everything out. There's just so many factors and everything's so different. And like, I know several people do amazing with just pure carnivore and they're doing great and they feel great. Again, for me, and I think you felt fine being carnivore.
That's what I was going to say. To me, it worked really good for me. Like physically,
yeah,
I handled it fine.
Yeah, because you didn't have the same issues I was having.
But mentally, it jacked with me. I need the variety, and I miss vegetables. I really do.
Yeah, yeah.
I've always enjoyed a good salad.
My personal opinion, I don't think it's the vegetables so much that are your problem. Mm-hmm. I think it's stuff like the Quest bars, the keto bars. Yeah. I think those type of, basically using the products again. Yes. I think that's where we fall into that issue. Like when you were just doing the keto chow fudge all the time, I think you were better than having the ice creams. Right. I think I know. And it's hard because I think part of it is, at least for me, I feel like, okay, sometimes it's sad because I see so many people who will eat crap foods and they're fine with it.
This is annoying.
Do your squats and they're fine with it and they will eat that and everything. And I'm like, dang it. Sometimes, and I know you're not supposed to compare this, y'all, but sometimes I'm like, well, I want to enjoy something too, where I'm not having to make everything from scratch all of the time, because that does get draining. And so sometimes it's like, well, if I could just get like that ice cream bar or, one of those keto bars and just have that, at least that's better than me buying Ben and Jerry's, right? That's how I equify. But I know, yes, it's probably better than Ben and Jerry's, but it's not best, right? But it's still just sometimes mentally it gets in my head because it's like, well, I will be so strict for so long, so many years I was so strict, and it just feels like, okay, why am I being so strict? And then I see other people that are just not that strict, right? They just let loose at times. And I'm like, well, I want to let loose too. And then that also then plays on Heath, because then he's like, well, if you're going to have that, I want to have it. And it's hard sometimes, y'all. Laura said, you gave me the push I needed and I stopped Diet Cokes. Oh, wow, Laura. We all care about you. I want you to be able to say again, no news is good news. Aw. Yes. I'm going to read that again when he comes back. And she goes, food, take the ice cream back, right? Renee said, get back to your keto chow fudge and creamies. I mean, honestly, Ian, that is way cheaper and better for us than these ice cream bars. But I get it. And that's what I'm saying, y'all, is sometimes in my mind, and I get it in my own head where I'm like, okay, I will hit hard and be very strict, like very, very strict for so long that I really did have some diet fatigue. And I'm like, but then I see other people who are doing keto and then they go off and they have this and they have that and then they're just right back on it. And I'm like, why am I being so strict? Where's it gotten me being this strict, right? But then I know that then that hurts Heath in the long run. Oh, here he comes back with this stuff. All right. What do you want?
Let's show them what I'm talking about. How, like, see
Mm-hmm.
how I have a full hand on this handle, this hand grip, basically. I feel more comfortable grabbing this one. This one, I think they do it by design because it's supposed to be for travel. Like I don't know, the finger falls off of it. Well, so I understand that. You gotta let me finish what I'm trying to say. I have to grab it like this, and it just feels awkward to me because it doesn't feel natural. That's not the way I usually grab something. Or not how I grab the other one. So what were you trying to tell me how I'm supposed to do it?
Yeah, that's why there's like a thumb rest there.
Like that? That seems weird. A thumb rest, that feels weird to me. Because like I said, like on this one, I'm used to grabbing my whole hand around it. That feels more structurally sound to me. Well, like I said, am I just being too picky? But this one is a danger, though, because like Renee was telling me, it's missing a foot. I don't know if y'all can tell. See how there's these three? This fourth one is missing. It may be in the back of the closet. I don't know, or maybe I lost it somewhere, and I don't know how that came off. Came loose. But I don't know. I feel like I have more solid with this one when all feet are on there. But I'm going to keep using this one because, like I said, my physical therapist told me I need to. So I'm going to pay attention to the experts.
So Laura had a really good point to make to you. She said, you gave her the push to stop Diet Cokes.
I did?
Yeah. We all care about you. I want you to be able to say again, no news is good news. Right. You still want to eat vegetables. That's a great one ingredient.
Right. That's true.
And then Renee told you to get back to your keto chow fudge and creamies.
I'm scared of the creamies, though.
Well, because I don't think you're supposed to eat like a huge pint of it.
Oh, maybe that's probably what it is, too. Yeah. I know. What do you call it? Basically overdose.
Kendra said, I'm with you, Heath, on craving some things. I think it's my insulin that makes me hungry for carbs. That's very true. Rickwood said, Shelly, it may be better than Ben & Jerry's, but the ingredients can still be wonky. The keto chow fudge you really enjoyed, and you knew what was in it. Yeah.
That's true. I mean, plus, like we were talking about, was it this Friday or was it the other last week or whatever? Somebody actually was requesting us make a batch on screen.
I know.
Because we got in the habit of making it every Friday. Yeah.
Renee said, get some little silicone molds, which we have tons of silicone molds, and make your own bars with lilies, coating, and nuts of choice.
Oh, okay.
And she goes, heck, that could be a video. Yeah.
Right.
No, I get it, and it should. But again, here's my thing. Just honestly, sometimes I get tired of making everything from scratch. Yes. Our meals from scratch. You know, for me, twice a day, and then having to make all the desserts. That's kind of also why we did the fudge, because that was easy, and that was something Heath could also do on his own most of the time. Mm-hmm. And I just it's just overwhelming.
Sometimes we're both just wanting to grab and go.
Yeah, it's just, and I know that's an excuse. And she said that could be a video, and I know that's an excuse. It's just, that's how I feel, though. That's honestly how it feels sometimes, where you just, us going on 6 years of keto, I feel like the first 5 years we were very strict, and a year and a half of that was very strict carnivore, to where it's just like I just need breaks sometimes.
There it is again, the diet fatigue, I guess.
Yeah. And she said index finger goes around the front, full grip.
Like that? Like this?
Okay. And she'll answer here in a minute.
I know, but see, it feels weird because then the shaft of this is in between my fingers. It feels weird.
Same thing.
Quit.
Kendra said, Heath, I could see why that bigger handle would be more comfortable.
I was actually looking at it to see if I can morph the two together, but I don't know if that kind of defeats the purpose.
Rickwood said, you are holding that cane wrong, Heath. It's supposed to be gripped in your fist, not like the other cane. A lot of people prefer the first method as it helps balance.
Like this one?
Yeah.
The way I grab this one, it seems very comfortable to me. But you're saying I don't need to grab this one that way, huh? I'm saying so it's just user error on my part.
Oh, Renee was saying she didn't say you had to have that cane, just use what's comfortable to you.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, aren't creamies just a full serving of keto chow? What's wrong with that? And cleaner than the bars. Because here's the thing. Yes, if that's all he was eating, but he eats a full dinner and then was trying to eat a full pint of the keto chow.
Right.
Which is technically a meal replacement. So right. I think he was overdoing it by basically having 2 meals at once.
Right. Oh, you'll be good though. Because you are having us incorporate a lot more nuts, like the pecans and walnuts.
Okay.
I can start mixing that into the creamy. That'd be really good.
Of course.
That'd be really good, actually. I mean, so we have the creamy thing that even has a mix-in button on it.
Yeah. And she said, yep, I guess on how you're handling it. Mm-hmm. So when you showed her with
between my fingers,
with the shaft between your fingers, that's the correct way.
So it's just user error again on my part.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't feel weird. I mean, it does feel weird though.
Maybe there's like a video or something you could watch how to use it properly.
Or I don't know, maybe I may have already thrown it away. There was a little sleeve that came with it too, though, like with the thing that wrote about it. That's where I saw that it says "as seen on TV."
And she said, "Well, can't you eat like half and refeed?"
Yes, I can. Okay, that's part of what helped me on keto was doing push-aways from the plate. But after, because like they were talking about earlier on Dustin's live this morning about everybody was raised, the Clean Your Plate Club, That's what I'm saying. Partly what helped was doing push-aways. Stop eating so much.
Right.
I can do the same thing, push the pint away. I just, it tastes so good, I don't want to stop. I'm a glutton.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Because we do have, 16 pint containers?
I don't think we have quite that many. I think we have 8.
Yeah.
And then she said, I'm sure it feels awkward, but you can send it back. They have a couple handle options, or just return all the way and replace your small base quad cane stoppers.
Because that's the thing. I was telling them earlier, the feet for this, the little stoppers, were I think for 4 of them, it was $6. And this guy was 30 something. But if it's helping me actually get around better, it is. And if I need to break it down and move it and everything, travel with it easier, it's actually a better deal.
Well, because I think what's good with this cane is like when we do the road trip in March, with the dogs being in the back seat, you don't really have right now, you have to put that cane in the back seat, then they can hurt the dogs.
Well, I have to go put it in the back hatch, but yeah.
Well, but if we're traveling with all the suitcase and the luggage, where are you going to put it?
Right.
If you're needing the cane by then.
Right.
Whereas that's what's good with this one, since it is a travel one, when we go, show everybody how it works. And then when we go on the road trip, or if we, later when we are flying for a trip, that would be handy for you to have that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I don't hit you.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so it breaks down to just that. But I think I could move that down.
Yeah, then you can.
Or not do that. But then it goes back together. But then I always feel so immature, y'all. I feel like I'm one of those guys in those movies where it comes out into a knife or a sword or whatever. Every time I start breaking it out.
But what feels better for you, honestly?
This one actually does. Only problem I'm having with it is because of the way the feet are on it, I have to turn it just right when I stand it up, or it starts falling over the handle over, what do you call it? Counterweights it, kind of like it falls over. So I have to make sure when I stand it up in a certain spot, or like this, I lean it and it stands up a little better. I feel like I knocked this one over more than I did that one. But I think it's just a learning curve. I have to get used to it.
Because what she's saying, it doesn't help if you're not comfortable with it. You're the boss. It's what you feel safest with. So what do you feel safest with?
This one, honestly. Because I'm using this one more than I use that one. Because especially now that we have it, I'm actually using it more. But at the same token, I'm kind of scared about that. I don't want to be too dependent on it. Because I want to eventually get away from it. I don't have to use it at all.
Yeah, what steps can you take to not have to use it?
I don't know. We've never discussed that before. Stop it. Stop it.
All right. Terry B's here. Hey, Terry, said Heath, I think you answered your own question when you described how you feel doing your DDPY. The exercise Shelley described like a lunge. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Terry. It's supposed to be a lunge. She said, you said it's painful, but then you said it made you feel like you would fall, made you feel unsteady, like losing your balance.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Renee said, if it's falling over, you're placing too much weight on it to stand. You need to straighten your quads. I don't think is it falling over when you're using it or when you're not using it?
What
the cane. Oh. When it's falling over, is it while you're using it or is it when you're not using it?
When I'm not using it, when I'm setting it away from me, when I'm setting it down like I'm fixing to go do something else or whatever, that's when it falls over. When I'm holding on to it, it never falls over for me.
Right. So it's whenever, like earlier when we were getting things set up, he just put the cane. So he isn't using the cane all the time. Mm-hmm. He'll put the cane, like, I forget where'd you put it? The laundry room? Because you even forgot where you put it.
Yeah, I did. I went to go change the laundry. I had to move stuff to the dryer. And I stood it up in between the washer and dryer.
And then he went about doing everything to set up the live and moving things, getting his drink and everything, walking all over. And then he's like, where did I put my cane?
I'm very absent-minded.
And then, so that's when it's falling over. Yeah. It's not while he's using it. Right. It's only when he's not wanting to use it. So he'll be like, I'll put it over here. And then it fall. Or like in the bathroom, like he, sits on the toilet and then he'll put the cane, somewhere. And then sometimes the cane falls when he goes to set the cane aside because he doesn't use it. At that moment. Does that make sense?
Like, I don't know if I don't want to be too graphic or whatever, but basically our toilet sits here. Our toilet's sitting here, right? There's a wall here, and on this side of the wall is our tub. Shower area. Right here on this wall, there's a hand grip we put on when I first was having my really bad mobility problems. But it is just perfect that the handle fits right underneath that handle that's bolted to the wall. And I leave them right there, and every once in a while it'll fall into the shower.
Yes. Rickwood said, Heath, lean the cane against something, not stand it up. I have an all-terrain bottom on my cane, and it is great to get around, but it doesn't stand up without falling over. Oh.
And see, another benefit, reason why Renee told me to get this one also, I didn't show it on here. I guess I can do it this way. This actually, hold on. I'm going to hold this down. Move this for me. Well, hold this. See, it moves itself. See, when it swivels inside. That's why she was telling me it'd be better for me. And I do like this one better, honestly. It's just learning curve, and I'm just basically first world problems. I'm just crying.
Terry said, is it possible you're confusing being unsteady and feeling unbalanced with pain?
Possibly.
That's a good point.
I do have problems with my equilibrium too, remember? Even in the shower, if I lean my head back when I'm washing my hair, it messes with me.
Yeah.
It messes up my, I guess my equilibrium, I guess what you call it, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
So when they're saying to do that lunge, is it because you feel unsteady and you're not confident? Is that what you're actually feeling and not pain?
Yes. I get scared.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you for being the Heath Dakota ring.
Yes. Thank you, Terry. I'll just call you from now on.
Words are hard. I'm sorry.
What does he mean by this?
Oh,
Sharon said, no steps required. Tinkle squats. Tee-hee. Renee said, the hurricane is an advanced past a quad cane, so it's a good progression. Oh, so that.
Yes, that's entry level. This is elementary, or I mean, immediate, or whatever they call it. Yeah, intermediate.
Well, that makes sense. So if you're trying to work yourself back to normal walking, then that would be the next. So you start with that cane, the quad, and then you work up to this cane.
Well, actually, that's the second one I had, remember? Because I thought originally I had one of the regular, just a stick on the end of it, remember?
I don't know. You had one that you bent.
Yeah, that's the one I had. It was just a stick with a foot on it. That's the original, you know? And I fell and bent it.
And Terry said, I'm in your place, Heath. I'm having to start at the beginning again, one step at a time. Shelley is right about trying to do too much at once gets overwhelming, and I tend to quit. Yeah, and see, that's how I feel. Like, I will go gung-ho. It's on the other side of the bottle.
Thank you. What do you call it? Fooling myself.
You'd like to play games with yourself.
Yes. Keep away, yeah.
But here's how I typically am. Like when I went keto, it was balls like Heath went, slowly into it. I went, like he was saying, balls to the wall. Like I just like, no, it's 120% or zero. Like there's no in between. Right. And I changed everything we were eating. I started exercising every day and making all these different changes. And then guess what? Then I just like burn myself out, which is what happened with exercise because it don't take much. And I just burn myself out. And then you slowly get that fatigue because you just push too hard. And I know this logically, if you just take one thing and make that small change and then slowly build from that, then it's going to be more effective long term. Logically, I know that. But also my mind on the other side is like, no, you can't just do one thing. Like, do it all.
Well, maybe that's part of the thing, my trick too, though, I guess. What helped me at the beginning. I remember I was still working construction.
Yeah.
So I was still getting outside. I was going into the houses, but I had to go outside to do stuff. I was going around to measure the houses and all that.
And getting out in the sun more.
Active. Yeah. So, I don't know.
You were out in the sun a lot. I think vitamin D from the sun is very important. I think we are supposed to be getting that every day. And
then I don't be too corny or nothing, but another one too. I've heard several channels talk about it. And I get a lot of it from y'all, and I appreciate you so much for it. Vitamin G. Y'all are so amazing. Thank you so much for all your help.
Yeah, and that's
let me. Basically, I feel like right now this whole live feed, I've just been basically. Y'all have let me just basically cry on your shoulder. So I just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all.
Yes, thank you. And I think it's always important, like on these lives, and that's one reason we do it, is like I'll think a certain way, and sometimes, and I've told Heath this before too. We've had arguments, y'all.
No, we have discussions.
Yeah, discussions. But I tell him, look, because I see something a certain way, and I'm telling you, this is how I see it. I'm telling you this because I need your perspective. I don't want to just talk to a wall because that isn't going to help me. I'm explaining things to you so that you can also hear where I'm coming from, but I want you to tell me how you see things because we do see things differently. And that's why these lives are helpful because it's so easy to get in your only line of thinking and feeling a certain way. And when you can talk it over with so many great people, like in the horde, and we all share our own perspectives and our own viewpoints, it helps you see things differently and be like, okay, well, I was obviously there is a better or a healthier way of looking at this than I currently am. And yeah, I liked how and you might not change exactly what somebody tells you. Well, this is the way you need to do it. You'll be like, okay, I heard, all like 20 different people telling me, hey, maybe do this, or you should be looking at this way or that way. And then you kind of mold those together and be like, okay, now I have expanded my way of thinking, listening to all of your viewpoints, and then it helps me kind of grow and move from there. And that's what we all need. I think that's what community is for, is not any of us, like we certainly never tell everybody, this is the way you have to do it. This is how you become healthy. This is what you do. I think it's more of we come together as a community and build our community and strengthen each other. Right? And we only do that by speaking. Because what do I hate more than anything on TV shows and movies?
That whole show should have been solved in a couple episodes. They just want to talk to each other.
Yes, it's communication. He knows what show I'm talking about. It just drives me crazy because I'm like, why don't they talk to each other? Because if you don't talk, then how are you going to grow? How are you going to improve yourself?
It's really crazy too because most of my favorite shows and TV shows are very dialogue driven, and that one was not.
I know.
I loved it.
Okay, she said, Renee says that one won't stand alone like the quad cane does, obviously. Yeah, right, because it is different.
Yeah.
And
Terry, that's what I'm saying, is just user error on my part.
Well, I think it's not so much user error, but you're learning a new tool. System, a new tool, right? Your cane is a tool. You're learning the advanced tool and how to live as you're progressing forward, right?
Yeah.
Terry B said, so one step at a time, one change at a time is best in my opinion. I'm rooting for us both. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
We're rooting for you too. One small change over a long time period and then go from there. Renee said, many people will also hang it from their table or towel racks.
Ooh, that's a good idea too. I didn't think about the little handle I was talking about in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I start hanging it from that. I didn't think about it because usually I stand it up right underneath it. I can just hang it from there. Yeah.
And then she said, you also have a natural high fear of falling because you've done it so many times before.
Remember that time, the last one I really messed up, went over to her ex-sister-in-law's house. I sat on my cooler, went to get up and fell.
Yeah, because you were trying to show off. Oh, look what I could do. But you put the cooler on a slanted driveway and it wasn't level. And then he fell and almost hit his head.
I can do my own stunts.
Terry said, Heath Dakota ring, love it, right? And then Rickwood said, Heath, if you're writing down what you're doing and how it's working or not working, then later, if someone suggests, you can say, this is what happened.
I know.
Very good, Joe.
I hate it when y'all are right.
But it's good for you.
I know.
Laura said, I'm like that, all or nothing. Exactly. And it's hard, because I think I've always been that way. And it's hard to and even though I've done that so many times in my life, and I know it doesn't work long term, but I still do it, right? Like, what is the saying? If you repeatedly do the same thing, right? It's like, why am I being so crazy?
Or also when I remember telling folks the benefits of keto and all that stuff. and I keep repeating, I've said it several times in the lives and stuff too. I spent over 40 years eating the sad. I'm not going to be able to repair all of that damage in this 5-6 years of being keto. It's going to take a little bit longer to undo that 4 years.
Right. And then especially if during keto,
I'm
you know,
still cheating.
Yeah, if you go off plan.
They're trying to be cyclical keto.
I don't think you were being cyclical keto.
You know what I mean?
No. It was just off plan.
Yeah. No,
it
was planned. I planned to do it, so it wasn't off plan.
Okay.
I know, but I'm saying is that I made bad decisions.
Yes. Well, nobody is perfect all of the time, and we strive to do better, right? But it's also being honest with yourself and acknowledging that, and not being like, I don't know why this is happening. Like, no, like, be honest, put it out there, and be honest, and be like, okay, yeah, that's probably part of it, right? Rickwood said it takes 30 days to create a habit. If you try too many things, the mind can't keep up. Exactly. So that's why I'm saying start this. You know, we have roughly 20 days left in November. So just start with the squat. Did you do your 5 squats when you tinkled?
No, I did 6.
Oh. Are you counting the one going on the toilet?
Well, of course.
Exactly. So one small thing at a time. And Terry B said, too many of us are all or nothing people. So we start with all and end up with nothing. Right. Exactly. Because then we just give up on everything. Mm-hmm. Sharon said, okay, kiddos, I have to get going. Everyone have a great week. And Heath, please do your squats.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm with you. Get your sunglasses. That's right. And then Rickwood, good night, Sharon.
Good night.
Rickwood said, I'm dropping a lot of veggies I was eating this summer and go back to majority of just meat, eggs, coffee, and my milk kefir. Yeah. And I feel like, though, that's kind of the progression as you get into winter, as you do start going more meat heavy in the wintertime versus the spring and summer.
Right.
So I think that's kind of living to the seasons, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Sharon said. Also, everyone give a thumbs up. Thank you, Sharon. And Renee did thumbs up. And then she said, bye, guys. And we'll call this here in a couple minutes, too. Laura said, this live helped me, too. Oh, I need to get back to walking. Right. It's just so important to be active. Kendra said, 100%. So glad to have a community to commensurate with and move forward when stuck. Exactly. That's what we're here to do, to help each other, and we could get better results together than individually.
Right.
22 Cat said, I hope others have been listening today that may need to hear this. Lots of good info from everyone today. Awesome. I agree. I think, again, having so many perspectives, I think really helps all of us come together and, expand our way of thinking, because it is easy to get stuck and be like, nope, this is what it is. And I know I'm guilty of that, where I'm like, nope, this is how it is. Yes. And then it's good when I hear other people's opinions, their viewpoints, and be like, okay, yeah, Shelly, you were being a little narrow-minded. Open back up and realize, okay, there's other ways to look at this. And then Renee said, I think the few times we choose off-plan compared to the way we used to live is perfectly human. Pat yourselves on the back for being here today. We got this. Thank you, Renee. And I mean, that's true. That's why my coach is always like, if you're strict for 4 weeks and basically, I think basically your goal is, you're meeting your daily goals 6 out of 7 times a week. So, whatever your goals are, your carbs, your macros, whatever those are, if you're meeting those 6 out of 7 and you do that for 4 weeks in a row, then one meal, not a whole day, one meal, you can then have off plan, which doesn't necessarily mean, okay, you're having a big Snickers cake. It could be, hey, maybe you're only eating 20 total carbs in a day, But this one meal maybe will be 20 carbs total just in the one meal, and you're just having a higher carb meal that day.
Right.
Just something like that. Or it could be, maybe that's the day you decide to have a sweet potato because the last 4 weeks you met those goals. And I think that is only human, is to realize we can't be perfect all of the time and make the perfect choices. We can do what we can to try to do that.
I got a question though.
Uh-oh.
Help me figure this out. It's only 4 months before we leave, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Brace yourself. What if we don't go out to eat between now and then? Because that's what we said earlier. On that trip, we're going to be eating out almost every day, if not twice a day.
Wow. No eating out the rest of November, December, January, and February. So 3.5 months.
It'll be like we're in the quarantine again. I mean, we can do it. We've done it.
Yeah. So for my birthday, we're not going out. You're going to cook dinner at home for me.
Well, I said, well, okay. With me, there's always a caveat. Because I know where you want to go for your birthday, too. And I want to go there, too, because that place is amazing. Okay, except for that one.
Oh, really? That one?
Yeah, because we didn't do it last year because you were on some weird little kick back then.
That was the no spin challenge, which I was thinking of doing again this January.
No, we're still going out for your birthday.
Oh, okay. 22Q Cat said, I don't really want to do all the squats again, even though it wasn't so bad, really. But if you'll do them, Heath, I'll commit to doing them with you.
Oh, see, thank you. My only problem is I don't want to feel like it's peer pressure and I'm forcing anybody else into it also.
Well,
if you want to hang out with me, that's cool.
Yeah. No, you're not forcing. You're saying, hey, if you want to come along and pop a squat when you tinkle.
Yeah.
I'll do it with you. Every time I go to the bathroom, I'll do 5 squats. Okay. And so if you want to join along, I think that's nice. Yeah, we can be there to motivate each other and don't, overextend yourself.
Right.
Terry said, agree with so many here. This has been a blessing and encouraging. Great week, all.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Rickwood said, I can't do squats because of my knees, but I can stand in the kitchen and hold on to the counter and stand up on my tippy toes. That's good. It forces the blood through the legs better. Oh, how interesting. Well, I've been trying to do where I stand on one leg and I'll switch that off. I'm trying to get up to a minute of standing just on one leg, but it's hard. Because I heard something about that. That's age related. That as you get older, the less you can stand on one leg. Which is probably because we're not doing as much core exercises as we get older. Laura said, we all heard him. Oh, Renee said, does that include Dutch?
No. Because she goes every Saturday.
And Rickwood said, that is the caveat. Renee said, right? And Rickwood said, if it gets too hard about eating out, limit no more than 2 times a month.
Like, I really want to go to Jalisco.
Why? What's at Jalisco you really want?
That flambéed pork is amazing.
Yeah.
And so is that bowl of cheese too.
Oh, the panella? That was really good.
But we also have a block of that cheese here. Mm-hmm. And the last time we made it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, where are we going tonight?
I thought you remember you said you wanted to.
I don't know. But you know me too, I always change my mind.
Right. Because we were going to record something tonight, remember?
I was saying you can do that tomorrow if you want. Well, I'm at work.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm just saying, if you want, you don't have to.
Oh. But you said you wanted to release it tomorrow.
I know. Things happen. We have other videos already recorded. We can always edit and release that.
Isn't that what I asked you yesterday?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I have too many ideas. That's my problem. I want to do it all, but I don't want to do any of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
What?
Laura said, okay, every time we go to the bathroom, we could say, "This is for you, Heath."
Oh no. So this is getting to be a really crappy conversation, huh?
No, bathroom could be a tinkle. I'm going to do that too, Laura. He's going to be in the office working because his office is closer to the restroom. And when I do the squats, I'm going to yell out, "This is for you, Heath."
Don't, because I have on the phone with customers. Don't do that, please. Bad enough no.
I'm going to do it. I won't yell it like that, but just know every time I use the restroom, I'm going to be saying, "This is for Heath." I love it, y'all. Thank you for making him blush.
I'm going to have to get up again because I feel like I got to blow my nose.
All right, y'all. Last few questions, and then we're going to call it. Rickwood said, thinking of all the money you can save and try all sorts of restaurants on your road trip next year. Yes. But I love that saving
See, part of the problem with that, though, because we used to have a rule when we traveled. One, we didn't want to stay anywhere we could stay at back home. And two, we didn't want to eat anywhere we can eat it back home. But with bringing the dogs with us, it is going to be a little harder to pick the restaurants. Because there is several restaurants I want to try while we're out, but they're not going to be dog friendly.
Right. Well, Columbus will have a little reprieve in a couple places because we can leave the dogs at the hotel while we go eat. Rickwood said, you can do it. No eating out. Remember last year with the budget month, and I think you cut out all eating out to save money. We sure did.
I can do it. I just don't want to do it. That's my problem.
I can tell you, and that really helped kickstart our saving goals this year. And I've just been really happy with how we did that. And I really feel like starting this year with the no spend month really helped us get that snowball rolling on saving for the year. So yeah, eating out would definitely save us a lot of money. And especially since sometimes I feel like we ate out 2 or 3 times. Everybody's laughing with Laura. And Renee said, this squat and squirt is for you, Heath.
Squat and squirt. It's not even after dark. Y'all need to behave. We'll send you all your room.
She did say it. Tweet TQ Cat said, I guess that budget thing was January this year. It was in February. It was this year, though. Yeah, it was January. So I did it as the January challenge, no spend January. And I know it does seem like it was a long time ago, right? And it hasn't even been a year yet.
But I really feel like we can do that until we leave.
Okay.
Except for your birthday. Because I know you want to go, don't you? Where we always go.
Yes. So if you haven't gathered, I like to go to Ruggles Black as they have a full keto menu. Yeah. And I just enjoy going there and getting like an actual keto dessert and a keto coffee and keto appetizer and a keto entree. It's just nice to do that and actually have like where I can sit down and choose all those options at a restaurant. Yeah. And not have to be like, well, can you do this and this and this? Not that it bothers me to do that, like when we go to Saltgrass, but it's just kind of nice sometimes to be like, okay, this is nice that they have that keto menu. Right. But it is expensive. So that's why it's a special occasion thing. Right. But yeah, so you're really saying that. So no Jalisco, no Camilla's.
No, because Camilla's, honestly, it's okay, but it doesn't it doesn't have the same draw to me that Jalisco has, or even Gringos. I'd much prefer Gringos to Camilla's.
Really?
Yes, I really do. Well, because Camilla's doesn't even have pork rinds.
No, that's true.
Gringos does.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm a sucker for getting bonus points for eating there.
It's true. Okay, so no Gringos.
And it's closer, and it's right next to a Dutch.
Right. And I feel like our options for grocery stores are so vast that anything we really want. But again, I know for me, eating out isn't just because it's like, oh, that's it. For me, it's just nice to
Be waited on.
Be waited on, not have to cook it or clean it. And then also it's nice, of course it has to be good food.
Right.
Not like, to me, if I want to go out, I don't want to just go to Luby's or somewhere.
Right.
I don't even know what's some place that's just cheap
filler food.
Filler food, yeah, basically. Like, to me, I don't want to just go to some, like,
Sonic.
I guess I would think like Chinese food used to always
Yes.
be the cheap place to eat. I don't want to just go eat because it's cheap and it's done for me. Like, I want to, and that's our problem too. When we go out to eat,
it's always grandiose.
Yeah, we're not going, to some, again, like a cheap Chinese place or a cheap little place. We're going to either getting good freaking brisket from Corkscrew, or we're going to, I would say the least expensive would be like saltgrass.
Yeah.
That type, where you just get a steak and Brussels on the side.
And at least we'll earn points for it too.
But that's what we like to do when we go out. So yeah, that's why it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then 22Q Cat says, should we do that challenge again in January anyways? Can't hurt too soon.
You can do whatever you want on your time.
I was honestly thinking about doing it again, doing a no spin January.
Yeah.
Only because
a super spin March, that's why.
Right. But also because
money March, I guess.
this month and next month we have the Elfster.
Yes.
So I'm doing Elfster at my job, which I need to be looking for those gifts soon.
We too, yeah.
You're doing Elfster at your job?
No. I'm saying is the Horde are doing it.
And then us is the Horde. So y'all, we're coming out on the deadline. If you want to sign up for the Elfster, please go to our Facebook group and sign up there. The link, it should be at one of the featured posts at the top, and join the Elfster because soon that's going to close. I think last I looked, we had 15 participants.
That's awesome.
So yeah, thank you. So if you're interested in that, then please sign up. But yeah, that would prevent us from really doing
too much more else.
a no spend in this month or next month.
We also need to plan that to where I want to do a live with everybody so we can open gifts on camera for each other.
Yeah.
And we need to plan what this month's coupon is going to be.
Yeah, we do.
We need to sit down and look at all that. So
well, I know. I was looking at that already.
I think I have to use the bathroom again.
Okay. Well, we're going to call it. Last comment, Renee said the Salty Peach Farm commented on my post about your spice sauce he tasted last night. Oh, we'll have to go read that then. Thank you. All right, y'all. We're going to call it. Thank y'all so much for joining us and for sharing with us today. That was awesome. Y'all are amazing. Thanks, everyone. Bye. He's going to go.